Coming up on Look Today, well, Senator Charles Schumer was at Glens Falls Hospital today to speak on the importance of renewing the Children's Health Program. We were there. I've got details. And the New York State Racing Association will be privatized again. More on that coming up. Plus, we've got more news regarding the opioid epidemic. I've got details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, happy Friday. I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program, I sit down with Robin Barkenhagen. He's candidate for councilman at large in Glens Falls. He's here to talk about his priorities and his reasons for running. And I also sit down with Mayor Joanne Yepsen of Saratoga, and we're joined by Angelica Morris. She's executive director of the Human Rights Commission of Schenectady, and they're here to talk about a human rights task force that is being developed here in Saratoga. Plus, we've got your weekend weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, Senator Charles Schumer was at Glens Falls Hospital today to speak on the importance of renewing the Children's Health Program. Now, this piece of legislation that provides important health services to children is due to expire this year. The program provides affordable and quality health care to over 8,000 kids in Glens Falls alone. Well, we were at the event where the senator spoke.
So getting good health care for our kids is so important. And every one of us who has children practices that. But obviously, the cost of health care has gone up. And the knowledge we have that can make kids better has improved as well. So you want to make sure kids get the best health care possible.
We also spoke to Diane Shagru. She's the president and CEO of Glens Falls Hospital.
I went and visited him last year. He made time in Washington to meet with myself and Glenda Kelman, our board chair, and Mitch Amato, our CFO. And we told him some of the challenges that we have here in Glens Falls and trying to continue with our mission. And we asked him to come visit us, and he said, I will. In less than a year, here he is. So, Senator Schumer is a good friend to Glens Falls Hospital and to healthcare in general.
Well, in other news, New York State Racing Association will be privatized again as a result of the state budget that was recently passed. NYRA is responsible for more than 17,000 jobs and $2 billion annually. That really impacts New York State's economy. NYRA will be organized into a non-for-profit corporation with stakeholders who will serve in a governance role and board of directors. Now, we're going to have more on this as the story begins to develop next week. Switching from news to weather. Well, today saw clearer skies with sunshine, temperatures in the high 50s. Let's see how the weekend is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. Hope you're all having a wonderful day so far. As we jump into the first look forecast right now, we do expect to see more cool conditions. High pressure still weakly in control across the region, seeing a couple frontal boundaries doing their best to push our way over the next couple of days. That's going to lead, though, for us another clear, calm, and cold night. Winds very calm and generally out of the east-northeast, and we'll see mostly clear skies. That's going to lead to a dry night with temperature falling back down to about 28 degrees, but then a nice warm up tomorrow. We're starting to see winds return out of the south between 10 to 15. We'll start to see the sunshine fill in, especially through the early morning hours. And as we start to get towards 4, 5, 6 p.m., some light afternoon showers will become a little bit more frequent. We'll see a high of 63. Out the door, temperatures very chilly, 28 to 33. We're going to see sunshine, cold start, but nicer forecasts upcoming as we continue on into next week. But for Easter weekend, we're going to see a chance of showers both today, as I mentioned, and Sunday. 40% chance of showers Easter Sunday. Keep the umbrella handy if you have any outdoor plans. We shouldn't see a complete washout. We'll be very warm on Sunday, high 77. Now as we take a look into next week, we'll cool back off once again. We'll see highs in the 50s. Well, that's it from the Weather Center. Now let's get back to you, Jesse.
Well, it looks like we might have a little rain on Easter Sunday, but the temperatures will be warm. Back to the news. We've got more news regarding the opioid and heroin epidemic. Now this year, $200 million will be in state budget, will be allocated to prevention centers and educational programs throughout all of New York. Now, according to data released by the Prevention Council of Saratoga, 4 of 5 individuals in treatment for heroin abuse started with prescription opioids. Now, there's been a 222% increase in treatment rates in our region alone. Mortality rates in Saratoga County average roughly 20 overdoses per year. Well, we spoke to Janine Stuchin. She's the executive director of the Prevention Council of Saratoga County.
We'll be part of a team that the peer engagement specialist will be coming in to the hospital at that juncture. Our agency doesn't hold the contract for that, but our county will be one of the areas benefiting from that service. We have applied for a grant for a family support navigator that we'll be hearing about later this spring, and that will be someone who will help families and individuals seeking treatment to kind of navigate the system. It can be a bit overwhelming. It can be challenging to understand all of the resources and how to get a loved one into treatment.
Up next, I sit down with Robin Barkenhagen. Now, he's a candidate for councilman at large in Glens Falls. He's here to talk about his priorities and reasons for running. Plus, I also sit down with Mayor Joanne Yepsen of Saratoga. We're joined by Angelica Morris. Now, she's the executive director of the Human Rights Commission of Schenectady, and they're here to talk about a human rights task force that is being developed in Saratoga. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Friday, so I want to thank the crew, and that would be Antoinette and Dana, Andrew, Drew, Jack, Joel, and Norm for making this program possible each week. And just a reminder, Facebook, our Facebook numbers are starting to go through the roof. So you're talking to us, and we love it. So please tell us what you think, what you like, what you don't like. And I may give you a reason for that right now. I've got an Easter joke. You know how we all have a joke? Well, I have an Easter joke. Now, it's not offensive, and it's pretty tame, but 5% of you out there, I think, might wind up on the floor with this one. Okay, so here it goes. A rabbi, a minister, and a priest are sitting down together. And the priest says, "You know, I really love Easter. It's a wonderful holiday." And the rabbi says, I know what you mean. You know, you buy gifts for everybody and you wrap them up and you put them under the tree. And the minister looks at the rabbi and says, wait a minute. That's Christmas. He said, Easter, you know, when everybody sits around the table, gives thanks for everything all year long and carves up a turkey. So the priest, shaking his head, looks at the minister and the rabbi and says, well, you guys, it's Easter. That's the holiday when Jesus, our Savior, dies and was buried. And after 3 days, he rises from the dead, he comes out, and if he sees his shadow, okay, that's it. That's the joke. I hope everyone out there has a safe and peaceful Easter and Passover weekend. And we'll see you Monday night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.